You may have noticed that pilots, when they are putting on shirts, they have some yellow linings here. The shirts are usually white, but it is not a must that it must be white. And even the linings here are not supposed even to, it's not a must that they must be yellow. But ordinarily, 95% of the time when the pilots are putting on uniform, they have a blue jacket, and at the end of the jacket near the hand, there are lines there. The lines could be 1, 2, 3, or even 4. But if they are putting on a white shirt, there is the 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, and 4 lines up here. As I said, the lines are 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mostly, it is a white shirt, and the linings are gold or yellow, and the coats are usually blue with stripes at the end of the coat, which are 1, 2, 3, 4. But it is not a must. It is even possible to have a pilot putting on another color of shirt or jacket, but blue blazer, white shirt, and yellow lines are usually, over 95% are usually the color. Now, I want to explain the differences of the general difference of that, the general difference of 4 lines with a disclaimer here. Maybe the biggest challenge I've had when I shoot these things is that I know almost something about everything, but I don't know everything about everything. So you find that people pick on the 1 or 2 things that I don't say and emphasize on that. I'm a Kenyan from the western town of Webuye, but you find when I'm mentioning the names of, let's say, Ugandans want me to pronounce like them. Shagiriginya, Chavuladi. And also on a technical subject, some people even want me to talk the very technical. My aspect is have a general idea about everything, just above average. And lastly, before I go back to the piloting, is that this is meant for general people to have an idea so that the person can now go and get an expert in that field who can generalize that. If I were to take, okay, some of the subjects that I really know the technical aspect of it, if I were to say that, it would mean that those who know will know and those who don't know will not know. So this is generally an easy talk for general people to have an above average idea. Now these lines, the yellow ones here, or the ones which are at the end of the, when the pilot is putting on a blazer, the linings are at the end of the sleeve, at the end of the sleeve. But if the pilot is putting on a shirt, it is usually on the collar. And if you have one strip here, then on their coat it will be 1. Now I'll divide the 4 strips, and I'm saying it is usually usually the general understanding and the usual picture. If today you signed up to be a pilot, you'll be called a student pilot. When you are called a student pilot, you will have 1 strip here. You will have 1 strip here, or on your coat, you will have 1 strip. That means you are a student pilot. And for you to move from one strip to two to three, whatever, as I will talk about that, it also has some hours, and that is why I'm not going to particulars. But you have to clock some flight hours for you to go to the second, third, or even fourth strip. In piloting, you are as old as the number of flights you make. That is why in the Air Force, you'll find that somebody would really not like to be the president's ADC. They would not even want to be military attaché somewhere. They would not really be very happy to be instructors in armed forces training colleges, something like that. Because a military man would prefer, an airman would prefer to have as much practice on air as possible. So that after you complete your flight, you fill in the hours you have been flying, and you find that a pilot has flown for 1,000 hours, 2,000 hours, so and so. They are very much particular about flight hours. So when you join as a student pilot, you have one strip, one strip. Then after some time, where you have where you have satisfied your trainers, and at the same time you have covered so many flight hours, then you are qualified to have two strips. Two strips. These two strips, you are now a pilot, but you are a pilot who will either be a lone person flying alone, or if you have to carry something in your plane, you have to carry goods. You have to carry goods. You are not supposed to carry passengers. Yes, you have covered so many flight hours. You have done whatever. You are now flying alone. You see, if you have one, then you have to have another pilot here who has to supervise you. But it reaches a time when you fly solo. Now, when you're flying solo, are you flying alone, which is allowed, or you could be given work to be carrying goods, carrying goods. This is, you are still a recruit, because if you mess around and fall, the luggage that you are carrying and yourself are the only people who will perish. Now, after some time, after an experience of flying alone and maybe carrying things, which are these things you can carry? For example, we are having a school examinations in Kenya, isn't it? I want to give just a good example. There is a pilot who is supposed to carry the exam papers from neck, take it all throughout Kenya. You see, if he or she falls and it is only the exam papers, and himself will die. There are even those things you carry, what do you call? You maybe have bought a TV or whatever, microwave, and those luggage only, and the pilot. That is two strips. Now you go to three strips. Three strips, this is what we call CPL, commercial pilot license. Okay, here you are allowed with three strips. You see, strip number one, you are a student. Strip number two is called PPL, private pilot. I'll remember and put it in but there is PPL, which is two strips, which you are only allowed to carry luggages or carry yourself. No passengers. Those are PPL, private pilot's license. Yeah. Then two is commercial. Commercial is when you are now. Those are three now. One, you are a student. Two, PPL. You can carry luggages and you yourself, no passengers. PPL. Then commercial pilot license is now 3, where in the small planes, which you can say Wilson planes, you can pilot the plane and carry passengers, goods and passengers. Or you can go to Embakasi in the large plane and you be a co-pilot. But nowadays, co-pilots are called first officers. So you can go and be a first officer in a bigger plane. That is 3 pips. I said 1 is a student, 2 PPL, which is carry luggages only. 3 commercial pilot's license, which you can carry passengers. You can carry a human life in it. Then 4, or number 3, you can carry you can be the pilot of a small plane like Wilson, or you can be a co-pilot or a first pilot in a bigger plane. But 4, you are the captain or the pilot of a big plane. That is how it is. Next time you see them, 1 strip, 2 strip, 3 strip, 4 strip. And I said, I've even seen pilots with sky blue shirts and whatever. But in most cases, it is a white shirt. And if he or she is putting on a coat, then the coat has got to be, in most cases, navy blue or black. Viewers, with those few remarks, I have covered the 4 stages of a pilot, the general 4 steps of a pilot. Some people may add, some people may reduce, or some people may do it for advertisement. Who can stop me from, like today, I can even decide to put on the 4 strips, and I've never flown a plane or anything. These are things which are just guidelines for you to generally know how it is done. Thank you.